without further ado, in honor of Christmas in July, and for Lovely's first ever tour, she's going to be as nappy as she wanted to be. Please put your hands together for Lovely!
How y'all doing, Saginaw? Well, after tonight, we'll surely have to change the name to Sag Nasty. For sure. Oh, the object on stage is not closer than it appears. I really am a Chewbacca 8 foot tall, y'all! I wanted to get that out because even though I'm famous already, I'm not rich enough to be sued. I love being tall, though. I walk around with my head tilted high, proud as can be. Of course, that's so people can clearly see I don't have an Adam's apple, and I'm not a cross-dressing drag queen. One of the first things people always ask when they meet me is, "How tall are you?" Like they're looking at Mount Rushmore and I got 4 heads or something. And I say, "Well, that depends. What are you smelling? Little wine, little milk, a whole lot of cheese." And they're like, "What?" I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. You asked how tall I was, not how tall you were." There are plenty of advantages to being tall. They actually started at birth. I was about 2 foot tall when I was born. So when I was ready to come out, I just said to my mama, "Mother, may I take 2 giant steps?" Of course, she screeched, "Yes, you may!" So I took the 2 giant steps, walked right out the same hole I was made in. There are other advantages as I continued to get older and bigger. When I was 3, Dad took us to Cedar Point, and because I was already 5 foot tall, I got to ride all the rides with my parents. Some of the workers looked at us though like I was married to my dad and my mama was the child. I thought, nasty? Cedar Point ain't even that far south. Whatever, good times. One of the disadvantages of that trip though was we always had to pay for double parking. No, not for my shoes. For my car seat. We used to have a 1975 4-door Buick LeSabre and a 1968 Buick Opal. We used to have to put that Opal in the back of the LeSabre, right in the back seat. That's how I rolled in my car seat. We pull into the parking, the attendant always charges double, because technically it was 2 cars. That shit ain't funny because that extra parking money came out of my snack park food fund. Yes, I said fund. As you can imagine, it is not cheap raising a Chewbacca in the making. So, I needed every cent I could get. As an adult, there are also many advantages to being this tall. No, not just helping out the little old bitches at the grocery store. But like the other day when we had that big-ass storm, one of our power lines went down. I simply walked out there, picked it up, reconnected it. Then I was sunbathing in a pool. Yes, it's special order, 48 by 48. One of the clouds got in the way of my rays. So I just stood up and gently pushed it aside. But the best thing about being tall is I'm close enough to God to hold hands. Seriously, when I pray so hard to God and He doesn't answer my prayers, I'm just the right height to offer up a little session of teabagging. Next thing you know, My prayers are answered. It's all his. Seriously. I love God and He loved me. That's why I feel comfortable talking this way. We have many things in common. We're so close. For instance, if I lay on my back without a bra, my breasts part like the Red Sea. Back in high school, I had so many dates of unprotected sex, I too was the burning bush. Sure, a few of you may have spoke to me. So all I'm saying is, if this offends you, I don't give a high hell. Take it up with God. After all, He created me in His own image, so if I'm going to hell, He only got Himself to be mad at. There's one other person I talk to that's invisible, I'm very close to. I'm sure some of y'all bitches know him. His name's Santa Claus. And he told me about some trifling times up at the North Pole. This shit ain't all candy cane and magic dust. Okay, it is, but that's another story. There be bitches and hoes up there and ghettos and hoods just like down here on Earth. So Santa wanted me to tell some of the stories to you, because he didn't feel fair he had to go through these times by himself. So in honor of Christmas in July, in true holiday spirit, y'all ready for some shit that went down in 2004 at the North Pole? Alright. Of course I know them by heart, but it's a reading, so you gotta hold stuff in your hand. You men know what that's like. You got something to say? OG? Lucky for you, Viagra make a nasal spray for dickheads. Anybody else got anything? So I thought, let's get this poem started. Hey, you got something else to say? They're making a hand cream too. You're gonna work that out. All right. Will you shut it, for fuck's sake? I know you got a microphone, but it ain't as big as this one, all right? It was the night before Christmas, and Santa was sweating. Probably because of that ass he was hitting. His sausage was stuffed up her hole nice and tight. He was going to make sure her Christmas was very white. When what to his wandering hand did he feel? But a venereal wart that had not yet healed. He let out a screech and pulled out in fear and said, "Bitch, you need to get a pap smear." And while you're out there, clean up that bush, because when I'm back here, that's one nappy tush. "Oh, Santa," she says, "just how can you pass? You're usually behind a reindeer's ass."